What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about 23 different altcoins today. I've got some Mozart music playing in the background. I will put it on pause. I don't know if it's a distraction, but we're going to wait for the best part to come up. But, right there, that's when we crack open the, yep. Mozart is not copyrighted. I just figured that out. It makes sense, but we're going over 23 different altcoins today. We're going to be doing DGB for XG, Miria for Elijah Winna, Prime and TVK for Crypto Investor, PYI and MONA for Mr. Hat, and I got those the exchanges that you wanted me to do them on. Queef for Diesel Killer, yes, you heard it correctly, SOI and MOG for Flower Child, KSM, 1 Inch for Amar's Eve, ENVX for AJ's Chamberger, ZRX for Fredium, PYR and Kimbo for Jordan Bailey, Engine for Mohamed El Mensi, Ondo, ONDO for Crypto Vault, LRC for Shroot Farmer, Maple for Soka, FIDA and like FIDA, and CLV for Hater Side, AMP for User. You want me to do the correlation to LTC. And then Zilica finishing it up for Stanwood Spartans. And with that, guys, let's get into this video. I am going to cut the Mozart music out in just a second, but I don't know how it sounds. I tried to play it myself and see if it sounds good. I think this is a fine volume, but let me know in the comments if this is a bad idea or if I should make classical music more of a common thing. Because, guys, classical music, most of it, is not copyrighted. I know it sounds crazy. We're going to get into it real soon, but I do think that the way that electronic music is these days has a lot in common with how classical music was. It's a symphony of sounds. I don't know. I like electronic music and I like classical music, but anyways, they just don't make. I mean, anyways, guys, top to bottom here. Let's turn off the music for now. Let's get into the silent aspect where you can only hear my voice. I hope that wasn't too distracting, but I don't know, man. Let me know how it goes, if you like it or if you don't like it. But I won't make it as big of a deal next time. I'll play it and just kind of let it be a norm. But top to bottom on DGB here, looking at on the weekly, I'm very confident that you're going to move up to about 2.17 cents. Man, I feel like I'm missing something now that the music's gone. Let me know if I should just keep it playing, man. I can turn it down. If it was too loud, I could turn it down. If it's not loud enough, I can turn it up. But I feel like I have no sustenance now without that music. 2.17 cents is where it looks like you want to go. Yes, probably above there. You might consolidate around there. You might find resistance there at first. You are finding a little bit of resistance now right at this previous area of support, but I do think you're going to continue going upwards before you turn around. Yeah, you've got lower lows in your daily RSI, higher lows in your price. It looks really good. So I'm under the impression you want to continue going higher in the more immediate terms. I don't mind the 4 hour at all. You don't look like you like to be below the 50, so you're probably going to make a move up today, I would think. But are you going to move up to this area that I was talking about here at 2.1 cents, 2.8 cents, whatever it is? Maybe. Maybe it's later this week, maybe it's sometime next week, but all in all, it does look like that's where you're going before you see your next kind of significant correctional phase or consolidation phase, whatever. You're slowly climbing your way up there. So that's DGB. Let's talk about MYRIA, Miria for Elijah Winna. Let's see, KuCoin here. Is that the best one to do it on? Looks fine. Okay, we'll use KuCoin, yeah. Bottom to top, hitting the 382. Nice. It's a nice look, I'm not going to lie, but the fact that you rejected this 069 is not too encouraging. You do have bearish divergence, but it's more or less fulfilled with this week's price action. That's not a good look right there, man. This right here, what do they call that? What do they call that? Let me see. I don't normally do this because I'm trying to blast through these request videos, but whoa, did Bulkowski change his layout? Maybe it's a glitch. Let's refresh. What the heck? He must have changed the layout, man. I don't know if I like it. It looks newer, but I miss the old school stuff. Let's see. Maybe it's just one of those weird things where it has a hard time uploading, but it's a little more good looking, I suppose. Let me see. Is it the abandoned baby? Is that? Ahaha, yes. Essentially it is, but without the gap. There might be a different name for this, but more or less the same kind of idea here, where you've got your green candle leading up to it, you have your spinning top at the top here, and then like a candle with a very small body and big wicks, and then you get a bearish engulfing candle to finish it off. This is a bearish look, and this does normally condone it to lower prices, and the fact that you have this kind of M look, I would think you are going lower. So I would think not only will you stop at your 382, but you will likely go to your 0.5 or 618 area. Now, will that happen this week? Will that happen next week? Probably not. You can absolutely move back up to 1.33 cents before continuing to move lower. But I think inevitably, guys, you're going to look at least 0.0045 cents, if not 0.00325 cents. Somewhere in that area, I think you want to move down. Yes, I'm quite convinced of that. Prove me wrong and hold support at that 382 area, but I don't think you will. That's Miria, looking like it has some downside to go. But that's great. If you want to buy it, you feel like, I wish I bought it down here. Well, you're going to get to buy it pretty damn close, man. Somewhere in that area. You'll be able to buy it at a discount. It'll probably go up afterwards, but for now, down. Prime. I used to do this whenever I first started making videos, but tonight's attitude brought to you by Giant Hard Tea. It's a 7% alcohol, and I'm just feeling myself today, so we're going for it. Let's see, bottom to top here. Is that your high? That's the question. I really do like this bounce off your overbought zone. You are at the highest points that you've ever been in this thing's history, at least on this chart. Let's see. Do you have... I don't know if we have more to go off of. Maybe gate.io. Not really. So I don't know. You could turn around here. It's possible, but you might just be getting started as well. Maybe not just getting started, but you might have more to go is what I should say. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, I don't know, man. Especially with how today looks so far with all that volume. I'm not completely convinced you're done growing just yet. Maybe. I mean, that's a hell of a look on your 4-hour, man. And the daily itself looks really good too. I'm inclined to believe you go higher. So let's try to get a relative extension on here, top to bottom. Maybe I'll use this low. You're at a point where it would make sense to turn around. Right now, you are at a point where it would make sense to turn around. But the shorter term time frames do look pretty damn bullish, I'm not going to lie. So let's see how today closes. If you can close above the 1618 here, this orange line at about essentially $20. If you can close above that line, what is it technically? So we know $20.14. Let's say $20.15. If you can close at $20.15 or higher, then your next target would be somewhere around $32. But if you can't, if you're rejecting this area, even if you move higher from here, but then you come back down to close below this line on the day, you might be making a move back down to $11.18. It's hard to say. It is really hard to say because this is a kind of new chart, right? Not kind of new. It's a very new chart. But for right now, the daily and the 4-hour look really good, really good. There is still 9 minutes left in the 4-hour, but I doubt you're going to do too much damage in that 9 minutes. I don't mind the 1 hour. It looks like you had your break, and it wasn't even that significant of a break. Yeah, I mean, I like it, man. This right here, right? Consolidation phase. Imagine this was like a weekly or a daily time frame. You've got all this volume on a closing thing that like closed above a closing candle that closed above this flat top area here with a higher low structure coming in a higher low higher high structure. It looks good to me, man. I would think your next move is starting right now, which could potentially take you all the way up to about $32. Prime, looking prime. But let's see how the day closes. Today is probably a very crucial day, honestly. TVK. Apparently these are gaming and metaverse tokens. These last two, TVK and Prime. Crypto investor hitting us with the alpha on the crypto metaverse and gaming coins. Let me see if there's any. Or maybe I'm giving the alpha. I don't know, man. People say whenever anybody says that, like, thanks for giving the alpha, I'm like, is this I don't know if it's alpha, man. I mean, like, hopefully it's good, but I don't know. I hope I'm not leading people astray. But not that I'm leading anybody anyways. I hope you guys make your own decisions. None of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Flat top here, accumulation range. You went down a little bit. Now you're having a nice recovery. Yeah, you probably consolidate for a little bit. Looking at this RSI, I wouldn't be surprised if you close this week red and a little bit lower even. Come back around to this overbought zone where you could find support. Though to be fair, You are kind of near this peak here. You could, I don't know, you could find support. Maybe you do close the sweet green. Let's look at the daily. That daily RSI does not look bad at all, man. I mean, it looked kind of bad, right? You had 1, 2, 3. You had a lot of bearish divergence forming. It was technically 4 drives, but I don't know. Anytime I see more than 3 drives, I don't think that it's bearish divergence anymore. Really what I think it is it's like you're just reluctant to show weakness. And here you are showing weakness, and then you got bought back up. You're already like halfway through this beginning candle's body at your high point. What you really have is a lower low with a higher low. It looks very bullish to me. So I think right now, who knows? You could consolidate for weeks, for months, and let this weekly RSI cool off more. Or perhaps you are in the right zone where you could start showing strength. You might be getting ready to move out of this this accumulation phase. With that kind of movement, I would be surprised if you just continued upwards, and I wouldn't think that it would merit much growth, but to be fair, relative to this chart, that's not much growth there, even at this low here. I mean, that's not, you're at 5 cents. Pulling a 100% gain is a lot, don't get me wrong, but in crypto, that's not too far of a reach for it to achieve in a short amount of time. So, I mean, that could happen. It's hard to say. I'm having a hard time with this one too, man. You're getting me with some good ones. The 4-hour RSI to me doesn't look as good, though it does look more bullish than it does bearish. Oh, you have a diamond, I think. I think that's a diamond top. Yes, it is. I think that's a diamond. Is it though? Let's see. Let's look at the 2-hour. Maybe get some more to like it. This right here, man. This little right there. That is very like common with a diamond, and it almost looks like I could draw like a diamond like that, but it's not filled out enough on this side. It's like it wants to be a diamond, but it's not. And if it is, you're technically breaking out to the downside. It's a small diamond, so at that rate, you'd go down. Maybe what you're doing is you're forming some kind of like wedge pattern. Maybe, perhaps, that could be it, and you're going down for now. But I do think, I stand by what I was saying earlier, I do think you want to go higher. You just might be consolidating that, maybe it takes you a few weeks to do that now. I don't know, something like that. Having a hard time with this one, man. I want to see how this week closes. I want to see how next week closes. We should keep our eye on this one, but I mean, is it a good time to buy? I don't know. You're still in your accumulation phase, so yes, but you just pumped up a lot in a short amount of time, so not really. I suppose if we look at some relative fibs, low to high here, I mean, I would expect you go down to 3.8 cents. I would. And you probably consolidate between this range and that range. And the daily RSI does look good, but like in my opinion it does look good, but all it would take is to go close below here and then it doesn't look good anymore. I'm having a hard time with this one. At first I was thinking it does want to kind of go up because of this daily RSI, but now I'm thinking because of the short-term RSI, because of where you are with the weekly, I think you will go down from here, and if you do, this daily RSI might not look as bullish as it does now. Because if you get this low here with this low, and then you get a lower low here on the price with a lower low in the RSI, which that would happen if you were to move down from here, what you really have is kind of a rejection off of the 60 area, getting a lower low. Oh, and you'd break out of this channel that you're in, coming to the upside here, or would you? Yeah, you would. So that would not actually be a good look. So maybe you are consolidating. Maybe you are moving down to 3.8 cents, even all the way down to 2.8 cents, though I don't think that's where you're going to go. You could. I don't think you will, though. 3.8 cents sounds about right. So that's where I think you're going. If you're looking to buy, it's probably a good area there, but again, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't take everything I say to heart. Down, in case I wasn't clear, down is where I think it's going. Let's see here. Flat top, ascending high or ascending lows. Yes, you had a very nice breakout move. Oh, looking at the RSI, you were very, very hot. Not hot, not super hot, but 80s are still pretty hot, man. A lot of cryptos are seeing their 90s, like mid 90s even, and that's just ridiculous, man. But this is still pretty hot, being up that high. Bearish engulfing candle so far on the day, but you got a lot of time left in this day, man. You've got a lot. That's not a lot of volume for that big of a move, but hey, whatever. You did finish off with pretty high volume, to be fair. I don't know how to feel about this, and it looks like it doesn't either. I don't know. I would say as long as you're kind of holding this higher low structure, you're good. But if you break out of it, which you're kind of close to doing, you might have found your top. But this would be a really weird top, in my opinion, right? Like you had a flat top here. I mean, I don't know. I like the 4-hour RSI, to be fair. I don't like this rejection off the overbought zone, but I do like the fact that you have lower lows with higher lows. That is a really nice look in itself. I do like the flat top. I like the ascending lows here. You're at a point at the daily, if you close here, you could go down for the rest of the day and then come back up and close here, even with this significant 16% to the downside move. If you close here, you're primed for a bounce right off your overbought zone. So it has the potential to look good. And as scary as it might look right now, I don't think it looks too bad. I'm having a hard time with this one, Mr. Hat. I'm having a hard time, man. It's odd that you got so close to your 2272 and you didn't see it. And it looks like you more or less respect this. Let's see if we can get a second opinion on that, maybe. Not really helping me at all. I mean, if you move down, you could move all the way back down to about 5 cents, just below 5 cents. You really could. Back to around these highs, maybe just above those highs, somewhere around this low point here. And at this rate, it would happen really fast, so that'd be nice to see, but I want to see what you do for the rest of the day. Maybe you should request this one again tomorrow, Mr. Hat, because I'd be really curious to see. There's a lot of time left in the day, man. There's a lot of time left. That's a very small. That's below average volume for how big of a candle you got. You know, and you got a flat top. I'm inclined, just with the way it looks, I'm inclined to believe you have higher to go. I would think that you at least hit this 2272 at 9.6 cents. That's my final say. Within today, though, you could go to 6.65 cents. You could go down there, find support, and then move up. You could. Maybe you turn around from here. I don't know. You could go lower and still come back up. I don't know. But I think this move is not done. You're not going to see a phase of consolidation like this part here or this part here until you see 9.6 cents. And if I'm wrong, just close below that 1618. You can go below it, but if you close below it, then I will admit defeat, and you probably do go back to your like 5.4, maybe even just below 5 cent area. That's PYI. Not making it easy on me today, are you guys? Let's see. That's okay, man. Head scratchers are good. Head scratchers are good. Okay, so descending triangle. Yeah, very clear descending triangle. In the midst of the bull market, so to me it's less likely to come to fruition. But at the same time, what have you been doing, man? Why are you underperforming while everything is going to the moon? While things are seeing multi-hundred X's in 1 week, you, since January, have only seen a 73% growth, which, hey, that's nice, don't get me wrong, but lower highs, flat base, I don't like the way this looks. I don't, so far. I would think you go down from here. The daily RSI looks nice. If you can hold this area as support, if you can have a green day today, then yeah, it kind of looks like you'd want to move up higher. And if you move up higher from here, like essentially where you are now, you just have to move up a little higher, man, to break this descending high structure. And descending triangles can break out to the upside. They absolutely can. It's just not common. It's not that it's not common. I think it's like 60% likely to break to the downside and 40% not likely, so it could break up to the upside. But I don't know, man. I'm having a hard time with this one too. Not easy at all. 4 hour doesn't look good to me. The daily is in a spot where it needs to close green. So if the 4 hour doesn't look good, that's okay. Have your bad 4 hours for like the next 8 hours, but then finish the day strong or something like that. You and yourself at this top point here have a flat base with descending highs. I don't like that either. I'm going to play it by the book. I'm kind of going against my gut on this one, but I think you're going to go down. I think you're going to go to 35 cents, 3 cents, somewhere in that area. You're at 45, 44 cents right now. So I think you're going to go down. That's that. But prove me wrong. You're not too far away from doing that. Prove me wrong. Get above these highs here. Break out of this descending structure. This in itself, this tweezer top that you have, is different compared to what you've done last 2 times, but a tweezer top is not something bullish to hold on to. So let's see this week. You got 3 days left essentially. Let's see this week turn around. If you can do that, then there's hope, but I'm not too hopeful right now. So that's Mona. We're going to talk about on Deck Screener the joke coin of the day. Diesel Killer throwing at us some BS here. Let's see. I don't know if it's BS. It would technically be maybe VS. VFs? Let's see. Would it be this one? That one has the most volume. It's only been out. Toby. So not Toby. We're going to use this one. It has more volume. We're going to use this one. Let's see. Looking at the 1 hour. Yeah, no volume at all. I wouldn't touch it with anything that I have personally. I would throw $1 into it just for funsies if I really wanted to gamble on this thing, but it's probably not worth it. Probably not. Yeah, you're showing no life at all. So that this thing happened as quickly as it didn't happen, or as quickly as it like this. I'm trying to say it without saying it. I don't know, man. I'm not going to say it. So essentially, this looks bad. It just looks bad. Okay. Jokes aside, it looks bad. SOI USD. You said SOI, Flower Child. I think. You guys tell me. Where are we at here? It looks like, it kind of looks like that's an L, but these are all capital letters, so I'm assuming. I mean, it does look like an L. Maybe you meant to do a capital and it just didn't. So we're talking about Solana, I think. I'm pretty sure. At 173, 174 right now. Not off to a good start today, but hey, that's okay. Pretty hot on the RSI, aren't you? At an area you've tipped off before, just below here, just above there, a little bit above there. I mean, you could go higher. You could. Man, none of these are easy today. Bearish divergence, yes, but it's kind of already fulfilled itself. Holding this 1618 would actually be a bullish look. I don't know how to feel about it. I'm weary of getting bullish right now, or bearish right now. If you go down from here, you could see 143, maybe 153. But I do think you're wanting to go up to 231 or higher. Let's see. Let's see if we can make sense out of this through other means. Top to bottom. Man, if this week and the next 3 days, if we can close above 174, then I'm pretty convinced your next stop is 6-7. That would be crazy, man. No way. So I don't think that's gonna. I don't think this early in the cycle you're gonna go up there. So I would think you're gonna find turbulence this week, probably. If you close above this, it might be a fake out and you break down afterwards. It's a very constructive looking fib though. It's pretty unstoppable. I mean, the way it looks, this is inevitable. 670 to even 2,200. Although I don't know if that market cap's achievable, but something in here is definitely achievable. But you might find resistance here for the time being. Yeah, because the daily, if you go higher, you only have a little higher to go. That's the thing. 4 hour doesn't look bad, honestly. Oh, not an easy one at all, man. I'm going to stick with it. I think if you go higher, it's going to be a little bit. You probably don't break $200, okay? But you're probably going to pull back to like 120. at some point, whether this is the top now or the high and you move back there, or it's in like a few days from now, but soon. You're almost done with this move. There's only so much higher you can go in this RSI, in my opinion. So that's Solana. MOG, MOG. We'll go on Mexi or BitGet. Okay. Breakout move, very overbought. Bearish divergence, double top. Break this structure. Right? Maybe that's not it. Break that structure. You're almost about to right now. Break that structure, and then you're going down. And you're pretty close to it. You've got the rejection off of the overbought zone. The day still needs to close to confirm that. If today closes green, then hey man, you're probably going up higher. You're probably going into the 90s with your RSI, or at least into the high 80s, which would promote a pretty good move up. None of these are easy. What are you guys doing to me today, man? I feel like I have to spend 5 minutes on each of these. That's not a bad look. I don't like the price action, but when you throw the fib on there, this is really not a bad look at all. Could it just be coincidence? It doesn't really look like you're respecting the fib. You show respect in certain areas. You do. You look like you want to move up to your 2272, which would be at 5 zeros, 18629. But the way the price action looks, it looks like it wants to go down. But the way the RSI looks, it still has hope for it to go up. But you're near a point where it might look like you're breaking to the downside. If you close below the 1886, you close below 5079. Is that? No, that's 6 zeros. 6079. If you close below that, you're likely going to go to your 618 at 6043, or maybe even your 1272 all the way at 60293, or potentially even lower than that. So look for that. If you close below this area here where you found support, then you're going lower. If you can flip to day green, that would be nice. But I mean, you could afford to go a little bit lower from here and be fine. But regardless, I think your next high, or like the point of which you would probably stop, would be somewhere around your 1272. I doubt you'd go up to your 1618. I suppose it's possible, but I would doubt it. Because that would be, you've already seen so much growth. From here, that'd be another 4x essentially. I don't know. I suppose it's possible on something like this, right? It's probably a very low cap coin. MOG. It's a meme coin. 410 million. Decent volume, but nothing to be too excited about. I don't know, man. I'm under the impression you want to go down, but there is hope to go up. Let's just see how it does over the few days. I hate saying that. I feel like I've said that for all of these so far, but it's like, let's just see how it does, because I have a feeling you actually will close below this here. If you hold this as support, you don't even get down there and you break these highs, well, you're absolutely going to go here. And I would think you either stop there or somewhere in between. You could go up here, but I doubt it. I don't know. Hard to say, man. It's really hard to say. So that's what you get. I don't know. My personal interpretation would be you found a high point right now. You're going down to your 1618, which is at 60437, or down to your 1272, or somewhere in between, which is at 60209. That's MOG. I'm going to try to breeze through these a little bit faster, because I'm not going to go anywhere tonight if I keep doing these this long, man. Hopefully they're easier. If they take time, they take time. But bearish divergence, it is printed. You're looking like you want to close this week with a pretty big wick to the upside. It's looking convincing to me, like this is the top, decreasing volume as you're moving higher. Daily RSI is showing that bearish love as well. Yeah, you might be coming to the end of your move as well, and that makes sense. A lot of cryptos look like they're at the end of it. If not at the end of it, near the end of it. I think you close below that 236 at 47.47, and then it's on to 38.81, maybe even all the way down to $28. But I do think you want to see a pullback from here. And at this moment, I would kind of expect that you would pull back to your 61869. See a roughly like 40 to 50% drop from here. That's my thoughts. That's Kazuma. 1 inch. I'm going to move my paper up here so I stop like looking down. 1 inch, based off of just how the price action looks, I would think it wants to move down. You probably want to go to about 50 cents. Probably. 43.62, that sounds fine as well. Yeah. You could even go lower. You could go to about 37 cents and you're fine. No, maybe 37.6 cents, but pretty hot on the RSI. Bearish divergence showing itself. It's presented, it's printed. You might be starting the move right now. Still, you have a lower low with the higher low, which doesn't look bad, but as soon as you close below here, that would confirm that you probably are moving lower, right? So that's at 54 cents. I would think that you move lower. You might be forming some kind of, it doesn't look right to me, but like this is like your left shoulder, your head. It kind of looks right when I draw it. I don't know. Could be an inverse head and shoulders, at which case you might move all the way back down to about 37 cents, 36.5 cents. If not, I would at least expect to move down to about 47 cents. Yeah, so down from here. That's my thoughts. Yeah, that's my thoughts. 1 inch. ENVX. Is this not a crypto? It's a stock. It's a stock. So if you're watching this, AJ's Chamberger, we're not going to talk about this one. I think you requested this on a crypto video, so that threw me off. If you guys request stocks, let me know it's a stock, because I will assume it's a crypto unless you request it on a stock video. And if you request a crypto on a stock video, let me know it's a crypto, because I will, just based on the video that you're watching, I'm going to assume that's what you want to see, is a stock or a crypto. It doesn't matter. I'm okay. Like, this does not upset me at all. I feel bad that I have to take the time out to like let you guys know, make this part of the video just kind of not insignificant, but irrelevant, I should say, except for the one person that's watching it, or that may not even be watching it. Maybe you'll see that it's an altcoin video and you're not even going to watch this. So for anybody out there, and if you are watching this, AJ's Chamberburger, if you are watching this, just tell me if it's a stock or a crypto. It really does help. You can, somebody, they do .us. I think it's Navi. Whenever they do a stock request, they type in the ticker and they do .us, and that lets me know it's a US exchange that they want to do it. If it's a crypto, you do /US, and it's a crypto. You could do it that way, or you could just say crypto or stock, whatever. It helps. If you don't do it, and I have to do this every time, whatever, it's okay. It's not a big deal. No skin off my back. I hope it's no skin off yours, but it will put us on a momentary detour every time. So if we can work on that as a group, as a unit, that would be cool. But we're not going to talk about that one here. I'll do a separate video. I'll include it in the stock video later. Let's see. ZRX. What the hell, man? Wow, did good. It's doing really good for itself. Wow. This is one that I kind of, personally, I guess I would have deemed it irrelevant. I would not have expected this for ZRX, man. I didn't think that this was coming. But I don't know a whole lot about it, so I mean, what do I know? But looking at it now, man, it does not look like it's irrelevant. Not in my opinion, for whatever that's worth. Decent volume too, yeah. Not bad. I want to use this Binance chart. We'll use the Coinbase chart. It has more data. It's like a huge accumulation range is what it is, man. You tore through your 618. You just absolutely tore through it. You guys, I think you want to move up to $5. Not right now, right? Just like soon enough, within this year potentially, if not within the cycle. You're at $1 billion now. Yeah, that's going to be a piece of cake. $13 will be a piece of cake, especially for how long you've been accumulating for, consolidating, whatever. You've been in this range from $2.40, $2.50, whatever, and a 14-cent range, man. It's a big range, but the way you tore through that 618, this to me is like inevitable. 513 to 1350. Even beyond that, Looking at the weekly RSI, I would expect that you are near your top, if not at your top, your momentary high, I should say. You could go a little higher, of course. You could reach for $1.74. You're at $1.24 now. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But you're near it. You're near it. Time-wise, you're near it. That daily RSI is hot as hell, bro. Yeah. Still decent volume, though it is decreasing, but that's still really good volume, man. Closed right at the 786. If you move higher, I'm going to stick with it. If you move higher, a little bit higher, around $1.74, but you're at $1.23 now, it wouldn't be crazy if you turned around from here. Some bearish divergence on your 4-hour, and it is printed. It is on there, and that would kind of condemn you to prices around $1. And if you were to do that, I wouldn't be surprised if you pull back to your 618 around 82 cents. So I'm going to stick with that. I think you're going to move down in the more immediate term. But I think inevitably you want to move up, man. Like, this is a very bullish move that you just had. This is like something that me and probably most people in crypto thought was a dead project. Maybe not most. I really don't know. I heard its name thrown around a lot, in the previous cycle, but I haven't heard it so much. But to be fair, that's a really nice bottom. That's a really nice structure you have. This is undeniably an Adam and Eve, right? You can see it. Adam, Eve, beautiful, so beautiful. You even back tested your breakout point right there, bro. Like, it looks so good. It looks so good. Of course you had this kind of maneuver. It's a classic thing to do. I don't think it's done, but you could pull back significantly from here. You really could. Let's see where you're probably going to pull back to. I would think anywhere from, about $1, maybe 78 cents. Maybe if we flip this a little bit, $1 to 78 cents, right? That's what we were saying. 76, yeah, probably. I think you do 77, 76 cents, somewhere around there. You might hold that dollar area. It is possible, but it's very common on strong moves to hold your 382 as support. So it's also very common. Don't be scared if you go below your 382. It's very common to wick below it and then close above it. It's a very, very common thing to do. You might just bounce right off it. You might not even hit it and bounce, somewhere in between. But I would say between $1 to 76 cents, somewhere in that range, with an emphasis a strong emphasis on that 76 range. I do think you move down rather immediately. I'm pretty convinced of that. If you go up from here, you have a little bit higher left in you, but I think that was your high. I think that was your high there at $1.44. ZRX. Yeah, that's a good one, man. I love seeing stuff like that, man. It's been around for multiple cycles, and it's showing that, hey, I'm still here. You forgot about me. The people that didn't are reaping the rewards. Anybody who bought, anybody who accumulated down here, or who held throughout the bear cycle, I'm very happy for you. I hope you're doing good. Good job. Good job for every ZRX holder out there. Hopefully nobody is panic buying here. This is not where you panic buy, man. Okay. It moved up hard last time, consolidated for a while. Let it consolidate. Even if it does go up higher, right? Like let's say you got the FOMO here, right? And you're like, should I buy? Should I not buy? If you waited, okay, you missed your chance. But guess what? It came back down to this same exact area. So if you wait, even if it goes up a little bit, I would bet it goes below this area because you're so past like this kind of point here. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but please don't FOMO up here. Not financial advice, but please don't FOMO up here. Just wait like a month or two or 3. Wait a month or two. Give it a time thing. Don't give it a price limit. Give it like a time limit, a month at least. See it come back, and then start to DCA. There's nothing wrong with DCAing, but do not FOMO up here, man. It's a very impressive move, but don't FOMO. Anyways, ZRX. If it wasn't for the fact that it was near the end of its move, I would say this is the winner for tonight, man. This is a very impressive chart. Good job, Fredium. But we're going to talk about PYR now. I think we haven't talked about this yet. Vulcan Forged. Okay. We've talked about it before, I think. I feel like I remember this chart, yeah. Broke out, back tested your resistance point, and you have since had a great time. Bearish divergence, 1, 2, 3 strikes of bearish divergence. That is technically triple bearish divergence, technically. I wouldn't mess with that, and you're already down 12% this week. Yeah, I think you go lower. You probably do. You could hold support right here. You could, but you would need to do it like right now. Because if not, if you don't get some, even you could actually bounce from here and still come back down later. You could form like a lower high. So it's not going to be easy to kind of navigate, but That weekly bearish divergence is what's getting me, man. You probably pull back to about 636, 637, somewhere in there. At least to 778. At least like the top of this range. Don't look at this as like the top of this range. Look at all these closing points down here. If we put a line like right here at this high close, kind of comes in with this area of support as well. I would think probably around like between 778 to 637, 636 is where you're going. I think so. 4 hour looks sad. Yeah, I think you want to go down from here. Yeah. PYR and then up. You look bullish overall, but down for now. Kimbo. I think I have to talk about this one on Dex Screener. Kimbo. Green Bitcoin. GBTC. GBTC? I don't think that's the same thing as like GBTC here. Right, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. Yeah. GBTC. This is probably a scam. I wouldn't touch it. I don't know. Maybe it's not though, but whatever. They bought an ad, but that doesn't mean they're legit. In fact, I think most coins that buy ads are scams, at least on like Dex Screener. But what do I know? I honestly don't know. I haven't checked on most coins that advertise on Dex Screener to form a conclusive opinion about it, but something about this says scam to me. Because Bitcoin's already pretty green, man. It's very energy intensive, but a lot of the Bitcoin output is it takes in renewable energy, sustainable energy. You know, it's not something that's like bad for the environment. Like, I mean, like we literally, one of the larger mining companies uses nuclear power. CleanSpark, they use nuclear power to mine Bitcoin. Wyoming passed a law where if you use the excess fuel or gas or whatever in your oil rigs in Wyoming, if you use that, it's not taxable. You won't get taxed for mining Bitcoin. Essentially, like there's a law. They came up with that like a year or two ago. There's people who are looking up how to. Not looking up, they have it. They have miners that are powered off of methane. They go to dumps, they hook up their miners to like a methane exhaust within the dump area, because they have these tubes. The way that they do the way that landfills do things, they have these like passageways to let the methane out so that things can decompose properly and all that stuff. And they take that methane and they use that to power their miners, literally powering their miners with garbage. You guys, there's a lot of green Bitcoins out there. You don't need to invest in green Bitcoin. I say green Bitcoins, I mean Bitcoin itself is very green. You don't need to invest in some scam claiming to be a green Bitcoin. Bitcoin's already pretty green, man. It really is. But who am I to say? Top to bottom here, literally, guys, they can power Bitcoin with farts. They can power it with methane. They're doing it right now. It's crazy, man. It's really cool. You should look into that. If you're ever bored, guys, look into methane garbage-powered Bitcoin miners. Like, look that up, because I don't know how. I forget what the company is called, but they it's pretty cool. At least I think it's cool. I don't know. It's very innovative. It's a unique kind of source of energy. Enough about that, though. Kimbo. Looking like you want to move up higher, man. If you move lower, you're going to go to your 886, 3 zeros, 389, and then up to 2 zeros, 1 1. You could move lower from here. It's fine if you do. It's totally fine if you do. I'm kind of under the impression you want to move higher, though. Let's look at the relative strength index real quick. I like it. Yeah, I don't mind it at all, honestly. Lower lows, higher lows, looks great. It looks really good to me, actually. Yeah, today's bad, whatever. So what? You genuinely could move to 3.0389. Don't be scared if you do that. You have that much tolerance to go down. You're still like what would happen if you did that? Like you'd essentially move right in line with this higher low trajectory, and then go up to this 1272 area. I think 001133 or higher is less than a week away. Less than a week away. I would say so. If not, I mean maybe 2 weeks away, but I doubt. Let me see. No, I would say about a week or less. A week or less. That's Kimbo. Looking good. If it moves down, insignificant amounts. If it moves up, it's got, I say insignificant, but that'd actually be, I think that would be somewhat significant, wouldn't it? Let's see. It looks insignificant on the chart, but an 886 from here, that's another 25% essentially. So it could move down that much, but inevitably I think you're going to go higher. It might not do that right now. It might just go higher. Who knows? The 1 hour looks a little bit questionable, like it wants to continue downward. The 4 hour looks fine to me, but it could go lower. It's okay. But the daily looks good. I think you want to go up higher. So hour to hour, within a day or two, maybe you move down. But day to day, week to week, you look like you want to move up. It's Kimbo. Talking about engine now. Good old engine, man. This is one that I'm curious to see how it does this cycle. I'm not optimistic. Engine, ENJ. But you're doing well for yourself right now, aren't you? Let's see. 1272 hit. You could find support at 56.8 cents. A lot of things have been doing that, finding support at their 100 level lately. I normally do look for that 886 area, but this is definitely something to consider. The 100 area around 56.8 cents or 56 cents itself. But I think just based off of my experience, I would think you go to 50 cents. That's my thoughts. I think you go to 50 cents, and that could cool your it could cool your RSI off a little bit. Bring it down here and then continue higher. It looks fine to me, right? You've got this like ascending. That was not a straight line, but something like that. I don't know. Maybe it's like this. That was horrible. Come on, man. Something like that. I don't know. Yeah, probably moves down. You're down 12% this week. I'm gonna delete that. Actually, yeah, that daily RSI. You have the bearish divergence, but you're almost completing it right now. I think you want to move to the 382 of this move right now. Bottom to top. We'll see you at about 50 cents. Hey, lines up with what we were saying a second ago. And then probably higher. Probably higher. Previous areas of resistance become support, right? That's your 382 right there. After seeing a strong move, it's very common to pull back to that. Previous areas of resistance, kind of an area of support back here, and then you probably do move higher. I want to look at the overall fib before we move on. Top to bottom here. Look at that. Rejecting off your 382. Beautiful. And now I'm just asking for you to find support on your 382. Not a problem at all. You just found respect here. I'd bet you find respect there. And then up to $1.44, $1.81 you go. Yep. And here I was talking smack about it at first. You got a lot left of you've got a lot of life left in you. I cannot talk, man. I don't know what it is. I don't have a clue. Anyways, ENJ, that's probably what it is, but maybe not. I don't feel it, but it's the only kind of factor that's different today, I suppose. Lack of sleep, maybe. On that note, guys, if you work, if you have a 9 to 5, if you don't, a lot of people I know don't necessarily enjoy their jobs. I have a point, I promise, because I was just talking about sleep, right? It has something to do with sleep, but they don't enjoy their jobs, or like you get that feeling. Maybe you like your job, but you get that feeling, you're like, ugh, I got to go to work today. Why can't I just be at home? I haven't had that feeling in a very long time, man. You can have a job where you don't have that feeling, and it doesn't have to pay phenomenal. But I will say, and they've told me this since I was a kid. I'm sure you've heard it since you were a kid too. A job that you enjoy doing, it's way, way better, man. It really is, because when you wake up and you go to work and you don't feel like, ugh, I have to go to work today. Like it's a blessing in itself. Like who cares about the pay? If you're investing in crypto, you're going to make your money in whatever way. You're just biding your time with your job, right? But what I'm trying to say is, regardless of if you like your job or you don't like your job, and most people I know don't like their jobs. If you're working like a day-to-day 9 to 5, the average person probably doesn't enjoy their jobs. If you get good sleep, and I know this is asking a lot because I know all of you love to be up on your phones, be up on your TVs, be up on your electronic devices late at night when you're relaxing, and that keeps you up an extra hour or two. But if you can get strict with yourself and make sure you get at least 8 hours of sleep, maybe you don't need 8 hours. Maybe you only need 7.5. Some people don't. Some people need 10 hours. Get the amount of sleep that helps you feel refreshed and rejuvenated, and do it regularly. Get like an actual sleep schedule going. You've heard this all your life, and I'm telling you now as a crypto guy. But dude, notice that the days at your job are always slower and they drag on whenever you're tired. But when you get a good night's sleep, they go by like that, and it's a good day. And it's like keep track, keep a journal if you want, or just like make a mental note. Tell me I'm wrong. Your bad days happen when you're sleep deprived, whenever you're tired, whenever you get 6 hours of sleep or less, right? Your good days are always when you're well rested. And the days that go by fast, they're always when you're well rested, always. Tell me I'm wrong. Because I mean, personally, I've put that to the test several times, and that's absolutely what it is. Any day that I've ever had, regardless if I like my job or I don't, if it feels like it's just dragging on, I always ask myself, oh, this day's dragging on. Did I get good sleep last night? And I'm like, I did not. I slept like shit last night. And it's a thing. So get good sleep out there, guys. Get some good sleep. I'm on the detour, but we're getting back on the train now. Let's see. Ondo Finance. I will say, Crypto Vault, this is much better than the 100 coin. That's for sure. I mean, just as far as looks go. First off, it's on an exchange. Second off, there's actually volume being traded here. It's a nice move. It's a pretty damn nice move. There's not a lot of history to go off of, unfortunately, so I can't give the most precise technical analysis. Let's see if it's on here on Dex Screener. Ondo. It looks the same. So we're just gonna do that. Yeah, on Coinbase. Low to high. I would think, being at your 236, I would think you pull back to your 382. But hey, you found support above your 382 before multiple times. Maybe you hold it here, man. This thing has been on a pretty bullish train. It is kind of coming in line with these lows here, right? It looks fine to me. And maybe that line is too tight. Maybe not. Maybe it's broken through, actually. Maybe it has broken through. So all in all, with the way it looks, I would expect you to go to your 382. I want to see the RSI again real quick. It's a weird looking, it's kind of bullish. And with how far you've come down already, with how little you've come down here, that in itself is kind of bullish as well, because you really could bounce off your 50 area here. You've cooled off so much after being hot for so long already. This 4-hour RSI doesn't look bad. I mean, it looks sad. It does look sad, but it looks like it's at the end of being sad. You do have bullish divergence presenting itself, but it's not printed until you get a green candle. You're at your 123. You could bounce here. I don't know. You guys really aren't making it easy today, are you? You're trying your best to just be difficult, and that's okay. Huh. Dude, this is crazy. I think you want to move up from here. I think you do. I feel like that's kind of a bold call, but I think you do. If I'm wrong, you're going to go to 44.7 cents, if not 37.5 cents. Not terribly lower, but significant enough. But if I'm right and you do find a low here, you're probably going to go up to 74 cents or higher, man. But probably 74 in the more immediate terms. Look at how well you just hit your 1618, found support on your 1414, found support on the 1272, went up to your 1886 perfectly, back to your 1414, 1618 area, holding support there, 2272. Now you're at the 1886. Could you go to your 1618 or just a little bit in between this area? Sure, you could. You could go a little bit lower. But man, I don't know. I would think if you go a little bit lower because of how weak your RSI would get on the daily, I would think you'd go to your 1618 or your 1272. Like, I would think you'd see a deeper phase of consolidation than these little dips here. But you're moving down. You don't have a lot of volume. Like, if volume was picking up as you're moving down, I'd be a little bit more worried about you. But I think you want to move up, man. I do. I'm feeling it. I am feeling it, Mr. Krabs. It's a nice looking 1 hour too. Pretty productive right there. Lower lows with higher lows. It looks good to me, man. I don't know. I got a funny feeling. Most of the volume came in, like the most volume you've seen on this 1 hour chart right here was on this huge wick to the downside. It's not huge, but just relative to the chart it is. I mean, and then most volume that came was on these upward, I think that was the low, man. I think that was it. I think you want to move up from here. 74 cents or higher. That's Ondo. I'm going to stop repeating myself. LRC, loop ring. This is another one I'm curious about, man. I'm hoping it does well. I do like loop ring, but it just all depends if it can remain relevant or not. It's a nice look, I'm not going to lie. It's kind of like an Adam and extended. It's like a weird Adam and Eve, but somewhat of an Adam and Eve. You look like you're just breaking out. So the fact that you just broke out, it's common sometimes to find resistance at that consolidation phases at that breakout point, which you're basically at right now. You could consolidate here for a week or two, maybe a day or two, but I think you do want to move higher. Decent volume coming in, compared to relative times at least. Top to bottom, you're at your 382. Yeah, you could find resistance here. I might want to take this fib actually. Yeah. Yep. See you at 67 cents to 99.6 cents. If you move lower from here, you could drop about 6 cents and then move up, but I don't think you do. I think you're ready to move up to 67 cents to 99 cents. Yeah, LRC looking good. Maple, that's not right. Am I missing something? Is it, no, maple? There we go. I think this is what you wanted. Okay, cool. You guys, man, why are you making it difficult on me? You're at on a lot of these charts, guys. The reason why it's difficult, okay, in case you haven't figured it out, you're at like critical points with a lot of these charts, okay, where you could, if you go a little bit lower, that would be the breaking point to send you a lot lower or significantly lower. You could find support at these points, and then that would be significant enough to send you higher to new highs too, relative highs. Like, I don't know. You break below this 236, okay, you're going to your 382. If you close below your 236 right here, essentially where you tipped already today at 1356, if you go below there, you close below there on a daily, then all right, you're going down to about $9.91. But if not, this looks like a good bounce potentially. It's not. We haven't seen it come to fruition yet, but it has the potential for that, and that would send you to new highs, relative highs. Daily RSI isn't giving me much. 4-hour RSI does show bullish divergence, but it's not enough, in my opinion, to be completely convinced yet. You could move up, form a lower high, and then move down. Just because you bounce off of this doesn't mean that you're absolved from going lower just yet. It is a bearish look, being at a double top. There's all kinds of conflicting things going on, and it makes me crazy, bro. I love it. That looks nice too. It's not helping. None of it's helping. None of it's helping at all, man. Oh, God. I want to say you go higher. I want to say it looks bearish, but it has the potential to reverse. I don't know, man. I personally don't think you're going to go lower. If you go lower, it's a little bit, but you might be making a move up to $34, $25, something like that in a very short amount of time. But I can be wrong. If I'm wrong, we'll see you at $9.10 or a little bit lower than that. Probably a little bit lower than that, but that's my best guess on Maple there. I hope that helps. None of this is financial advice. Do not make financial decisions based off of some YouTube guy who's drinking, you know? I'm offering my opinions. They're genuine opinions, backed on over 7 years of experience doing technical analysis. Man, you guys, I would literally, whenever I was starting out, and I haven't done it in a while, but I would say I still do it every now and then. I haven't done it in like a couple months, but when I was starting out, I would just do this. I would type in, like, let's do it right now, like FJD. Okay, that's nothing. So then I'd backspace and go to FJ. There's nothing here, so I'll just go to F. Well, you've got Ford. I don't want to do F, so I'd scroll through and I would find something on the NASDAQ. Okay, 40net. And I would do technical analysis on that, right? And I would look it up to see if it's worth investing, but I would actually do technical analysis just to see if I can, like, hone my skills or be right. Like, I still am, I would say, a nerd with this stuff. But if you ever want to do TA, you can do it. You just have to do it. It's like anything, right? Like, you want to be, I don't know if I'm good. I make money doing this, you know, like I definitely do, but you know, I definitely make more money doing this than I ever have at any day job I've ever had. But you know, it takes time. It takes time, and you can do it wrong. It's like anything too, man. If you practice and you do it wrong, you're not going to get better. You have to be critical of yourself. You have to be real with yourself. The real thing about technical analysis, it's not all about these fancy tools and whatever. And they're really not that fancy. A monkey could do it. Anybody could do it. But the real thing about technical analysis is being very real with yourself. You have to know yourself. You have to know yourself and acknowledge when you make mistakes, and you have to be like, what did I do wrong? Why didn't it go? You can't just be like, oh, this should have worked. I did it all right. It should have worked. No, you have to suck it up and admit that you were wrong. Where did you go wrong? Oh, you only looked at the bullish side. You didn't look at the bearish side. Or you just looked at the bearish side. You didn't look at the bullish side. You have to look at the whole picture. If you just look at one side and you don't give yourself that, what if I'm wrong? How could I be wrong? That's normally where I've gone wrong personally. Whenever I just look at it from a one-sided scope, you need the full picture to kind of determine, you know, what outweighs what. And even if the bearish stuff outweighs the bullish stuff, the bullish side could still take effect. Like, there's all kinds of things that take effect. But to be an effective trader or investor, you need to not base your decisions off of emotions. And when things are going up, when crypto's doing what it's doing, it's really hard to not be it's really hard to not just think like, okay, so what? I'll put it in here. If it goes down, it's going to go back up. And you say that, but what if we consolidate for months and then it goes up? Like, so what? Okay, like, relatively speaking, if you make it up here, you're going to be like, this was a so what phase. But while you're living it, you're going to be like, oh, I should have just been patient. I knew that this could happen and I wasn't, you know, like, I don't know, man. I'm getting off on a whole tangent here, but I forget what started it. But anybody can do technical analysis, but just, it's not about, it is very much about using your tools, okay? Any good technical analyst has their tools, has their methods. You don't have to do it exactly like me. I learned from people who don't do their technical analysis like me at all, like genuinely, because what I learned from them more so was the psychology of it, their psychology and basics. Like, there's nothing wrong with sticking to the. You don't need to buy some fancy indicator or whatever. I know there's all these people that use, and there's probably benefits to buying certain indicators. Don't get me wrong, but I think if you can, like, do the dirty work yourself and, like, dig into it with some basic tools and, like, you master the basics, and who knows if anybody masters the basics, but you get a familiarity with them, you can do it. You can definitely do it, but you will be wrong. It's not about using technical analysis to never be wrong. It's about using it to get an edge, to get an idea of where things could go, and then you yourself, psychologically speaking, have to be real with yourself so that when you are wrong, you can make the right decision to preserve your capital. It's really, really what it is. It's a psychological game about preserving capital. Okay, that's if you want to be good at technical analysis, that's what it's about. And I certainly have a lot to grow on in that respect. I have my times, man. I can be good for most of the time, and then there's times where I just let it burn. We all do. You make a bad trade and you're like, whatever, let it go to zero. You need to not have that mindset. If you're in a bad trade and you're like, it's either going to zero or it's going to go to a million, so what, it's down 50% from here. I'm already in it. I might as well just ride it out until it goes all the way down, or stick it out and then maybe it goes up. If you're thinking like that, it's going to go to zero. Anytime, almost any single time that I've been like, well, I'm already down 50% in this trade, in this setup. Like, I'm in it now. It's like, you should tell yourself that's wrong. Just pull out. Take your losses, man. The best traders, the best investors, they know how to lose just as much as they know how to win. Okay, knowing how to lose is vital. And I know that sounds weird, but you have to know how to lose. You have to know how to be wrong, because you will be wrong. It's not about being right 100% of the time. It's not. If you're using technical analysis and you're getting frustrated because you're not right 100% of the time, no wonder, man. No, because you're never going to be right 100% of the time. Nobody is. You have to be okay with being wrong, and you have to expect that you will be wrong. So you have to take precautions for that reason, right? And what that means essentially is don't be emotional. Just don't be emotional. I hope that detour wasn't too bad. But anyways, this video is going on longer because of me, man. Top to bottom here, above your 618 weekly, you do have bearish divergence presenting itself, but it's not confirmed until you have a red week. And at that case, if you did confirm it, you'd go down to about 39 cents. Good for a move down there, probably a little bit lower. Let's look at the daily. Daily's hot. You're overbought. You've been overbought for a little while, but it does look good. Oh, the 4 hour's fine too. This one's not easy either, man. None of you guys are just you're at these critical points where you could do this, you could do that. Who knows? I'm under the impression this thing, I really don't. I want to say it goes down, but at the same time, it could move all the way up to 72 cents, 71 cents. I mean, down maybe a little bit today, sure, but I kind of think you want to continue going higher, actually. Yeah, maybe you go to 45 cents from here. Maybe you go to 48.6 cents from here, but I think you want to go higher. We'll see it at like 64 to 74 cents. That's FIDA. Probably down immediately. It might not even go down as far as I was saying, but you probably do go a little bit lower than this, and then you have higher to go. I think you do have higher to go, so that's FIDA. CLV, Clover Finance. We've talked about this one a lot lately. I think I've talked about it every day for the last 3 days. Tweezer top. Tweezer top. Overbought, now you're not. Well, if you close today like this or lower. Yeah, the 4 hours looking a bit bearish, aren't you? Moving down without really any volume, though. You're at a point where it would make sense to find resistance. So you probably go back to a point where it would make sense to find support, which is down at about 8 cents. You're at 11.38 cents. You're probably going anywhere from like 8.4 to like 9 cents, somewhere in that area. That's Clover Finance. Let's finish this up talking about AMP and Zilliqa, and then we'll be done. The fact that you didn't reach your 618 is not a good sign. You've pulled back so far already, and you're already over halfway through this week. I would think you do want to pull back to 00683. I think so. I don't like that you reached for your 618. You got front ran. When you see this, it could be a coincidence, of course, but I don't live by that, really. Like I would think that this is what you call front running. When you get to an expected area, but you can't reach it, right, and you wicked really hard and you saw a lot of volume, I think this was front ran. There were people selling before you got here, okay, because a lot of people were paying attention to this. That's normally what that means. This means that there's a lot of selling intention going on there. You're likely going to go back to the next place that would make sense to buy. From the same people that are watching this fib, they're going to watch for the next fib to find support on, which would be the 382. It's also at an area that you found like resistance here, kind of. I don't know. You could go lower. You could go back down to 006, but I think 006 to 0068 somewhere around there is where you find support. Yeah, you're probably moving down, AMP. Very nice move this week. Good job, but you're probably moving down. It's a very big wick. Now, when I say you're moving down, does it have to be today? Does it start today and it goes on for a straight week or 3 days? No, you could move up from here. You could move up to 1.4 cents or even up back to like 1.5 cents and then move down. But I do think you're moving down regardless. Yeah. Where you should have found support right here, you didn't. I think you're more or less immediately moving down. But it could take time. Immediately is relative. It could take a day. It could take a week. It could take 2 weeks. But in a short amount of time, yes, I think you're going to move down there. And finish this bad boy up with Silica. Silica, looking bullish. Yes, it is. We're going to finish this. Breaking out of its accumulation range. Nice Adam and Eve, beautiful. Bum, 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 bum. You broke out to the upside. You are overbought. You could, from here, it wouldn't be crazy if you moved down, but you're still bullish. And you might, maybe you don't move down, maybe you consolidate. That is a bearish looking week though, isn't it? That's what they call it's a gravestone doji, I believe. I want to see what you're doing on this relative fib here. Maybe this is the fib to take. Hit your 382. We'll see you back at 2.9 cents. 2.9. And is that okay? Are you breaking out of this accumulation range and then you're breaking back into it? I think really what you did was you broke out of like a slanted down accumulation range. So yes, you can go back. You can. You absolutely can. I think you do. I think you go to 2.9 cents. You're at 3.6 cents now. And that's all I got to say. So if you guys like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. I appreciate all of you for coming. I don't remember which ones looked like they wanted to move up in the shortest amount of time. I mean, the last one we talked about, AMP looks good, but it looks like it wants to move down. I think it was, maybe it was Maple or FIDA looked good. I think it was FIDA. Looks like it wants to move down immediately, but then up. I don't know, man. I want to give it, I honestly want to give it to, where is it? Where are you? I don't remember. I think it was ZRX for Fredium. Although it does look like it wants to pull back. That one was the most interesting to me. Just because it looks super good, you know, like I'm really happy to see it like that, but it probably does pull back. But I want to give that the win today. So Fredium, you won. ZRX, even though I think you're going lower, because I simply I can't remember which ones look like they want to go up in the more immediate term or not. But that's it, you guys. So have a good night. Take care. See you on the next one.